Hello and welcome to PepperAmmy's fermented Beet Kvass video. This video will be the first in a series of fermentation videos on this channel. Later on through the year I will be looking into fermented hot sauce videos and doing lots of other projects along the way. This is a very simple fermentation. All you will need is beetroot, salt, water, but you can also add additional ingredients. I chose to add some fresh ginger and chili for a bit of a spice kick. As we are dealing with beetroot, I highly recommend using gloves so we don't get too much staining and look like you're in a murder scene. Now we want to start by preparing the beetroot. Wash and optionally peel your beetroot. You don't have to peel it, I just prefer to. Then we need to cut it into small chunks and place it in a clean jar with anything else that you want to add. For me, once again, it's the chili and ginger. Next, we want to place our jar of beetroot and any other ingredients on a zeroed set of scales so we can weigh how much water we use so we know how much salt we need for our brine. So for me, I've zeroed the scales. I'm using roughly a kilogram of water, so that means I need to add 10 grams of salt for a 1% brine. You can go higher than 1%, but I don't recommend it, otherwise the end product will be quite salty. Now you can just add the salt straight to the jar and give it a good mix to make sure it dissolves, but some people prefer to heat up their water first, but I don't like to do so just in case it kills any of the good bacteria in the beetroot. Once everything is in the jar, you want to add a fermentation lid or cover or some fine mesh cloth if you do not have either of those to stop anything getting in but let the gases escape. You don't want to use a normal jar lid here, otherwise you will have to scrub beetroot juice off every surface the jar was near. You want to leave this ferment for at least a few days to a few weeks. As with most ferments, try it every few days to see when it gets to your liking. I left mine for about 6 days. Once it's where you want it, strain the beetroot off. These are also fine to eat. You can just throw them in a salad, boil them up for the dinner, or if you're not too interested, you can just stick them in the compost. You then want to place the fermented liquid into a jar or a bottle in the fridge, or you can kick it up a gear and carbonate it. Now to do so, you will need to make simple syrup. Now this is just 50-50 sugar and water. You'll have to heat the water up so the sugar dissolves, and you just add in a couple of tablespoons of sugar and place it in a fermentation grade bottle. Now if you don't put it in a fermentation grade bottle, once again you will be scrubbing beetroot juice off all of your cupboards in the kitchen. Now if you are going to carbonate it, you want to burp the bottles at least once a day just to let some of the gas that's built up out, and it's a great way to see how far along your carbonation is. Now here we have our Beet Kvass. You can also just mix this into other drinks like beers and wines and stuff. It is completely up to you how you drink it, but it's very good. It's full of probiotics. You can also use the kvass for other fermentation projects, and we may be looking at one in a couple of weeks' time. Now you can go higher than 1%, but I don't recommend it, otherwise the final project... Ugh. Now you can add the salt straight to the jar. Some people prefer to, like... Ugh. You want to leave this ferment for at least a few days to a few weeks. As with you then want to place the jar... You then want to place the juice into a jar or bottle in the... You then want to place... Why is this so hard?